You're a Muslim, right?
Yes.
And you have somebody who helped you, become the person that you are today, like a mentor who assists you in becoming what you've achieved
You know,
today.
my mom really believed in me, and she
Uh,
kept on pushing me. She bought me my first set of plates, and they were red plates, and that's where the red dish came
you know
about.
where?
Call me the man that cannot be moved. When I
Mm.
set my mind to something, you cannot wave me.
You're 30 for 30, right? Is that what you
Yes,
call it?
30 for 30. That's
Exactly.
correct. Yes.
During the month of Ramadan. And I've
Yes.
seen that you've done so much outreach in trying to feed people. And
Yes.
as we all know, the best deeds that one can do in the month of Ramadan is to be able to feed people,
Yes.
make people, have that ability to eat very good food,
Yes.
and this is praiseworthy in the deen. This episode is brought to you by Kalam Box. Please enjoy. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode. Today, our guest is a renowned chef. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Yes, we're in the month of Ramadan, but we have a chef at the house. He is the founder of Red Dish Chronicles. He studied in London and he majored in business management in the London Metropolitan University. He partly worked in different restaurants, where he picked up his culinary skills. He went a mile further by enrolling in the French Culinary Institute in New York, where he was he was professionally trained as a chef. My guest for today is none other than Abiola Akanji, who is also known as Chef Stone. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, brother.
Good to have you on the program,
Good to
Chef.
be on the show.
I'm excited not because I love food, but because I wanted to see you.
I know you probably thought I was bringing food, eh?
But we know we cannot eat because we are fasting.
I know.
But
I know.
amazingly, the day I went to your place, I had an amazing food. And when I went there, I thought I was in London because I saw, the truck was there, and subhanallah, there was so many nice tables there.
Yes.
And
yes.
good people.
Yes, a lot of good people.
Great to have you on the program.
I'm
Let's go
honored.
straight to our conversation for today, right?
Yes.
We want to talk about bettering humanity through food,
Okay.
or rather making humanity a better place through food. But let's start with this. Our society has this toxic notion that if you're a man and you're cooking and you're in the kitchen, it's something that they frown upon. And there's a toxic, attitudinal behavior towards people, men that cook, basically.
It is.
Tell me,
Yes.
how was your journey in this aspect? How were you able to find a balance amidst the noise?
I know it's one that is very close to my heart because that's really my story growing
Right.
up. When I remember the first time I told my dad I wanted to be a chef, he just could not wrap his head around it. That's after studying business management and everything he has done and all the money they spent to send me to London, I've come back now. I want to cook. And he did not understand that there's a career around it. And apart from that, food is life. And more in this day and age when more people are realizing they have to cook for themselves.
Right.
This is the month of Ramadan now. If you have to cook yourself as well sometimes, so more men are realizing they need this skill. It's a life skill. It's not a woman's job to cook for you, and more women are working now. So you don't want your wife to get back home and she now starts taking care of the children, starting to cook. If you can cook for your wife sometimes, So it was difficult for me growing up because I had a lot of, even my friends were like, okay, it's cooking you want to do now when there are jobs here, there's this going on here. But I have proven beyond doubt that, there's a career there. And I'm advocating for more men to cook. We get more students coming to our school now that want to learn to cook and be chefs.
Amazing.
And chefs, more men do better as chefs.
Oh, really?
Funny enough, yes.
Is that a known fact?
It is. It's proven. There are more men in that industry now doing much better in the industry.
You said that you found a bit of difficulty with your friends when you were trying to do this. At that point in your life, did it affect your mental state? Did you have like this, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore, or should I change my career? What made you focus to reach this stage that you are right now?
I think the biggest impact was when I moved back here from London and I saw that the chef industry was so far behind. There was nothing.
Right.
If you wanted to be a chef, you have to either work under someone for 5-6 years before you can be called a chef. And they start you from just washing dishes. There was no culinary school, nowhere to go to train. And the pay for chefs was so low.
Wow.
I tried to apply to some of these big hotels in Lagos then, I remember. And the offer was 20,000 naira for a month's work. And I remember I was calculating it in pounds and saying, is this for a day? Is this for a few hours? And they said it's for a month. And I'm like, how are people surviving on this?
Oh,
So what really motivated me was that trying to change that from people being poorly paid in this industry, chefs not being valued in this industry, and stuff like that. So
Right.
I had to really go back and revisit what I wanted to do. Do I want to open a restaurant? Do I want to work in restaurants? Or do I want to grow chefs and bring them, and I had a lot of backlash from friends and family as well when I first started singing, this guy is not serious with his life. Imagine a man, and I'm the first son of my father. So, it was a tough one. My dad and my mom argued about it a few times. Is this what he really wants to do with his life? But, I had something to prove. So I just had to keep fighting.
Amazing. When I was watching about you, I realized that you worked in about 4 restaurants in London.
Yes.
Can you tell me your experience there? How did you feel working there compared to when you came back to Lagos and they told you, see, your pay is 20,000 naira?
I know.
How was it in London?
I think getting into that industry for me was a fluke. I love food very much. Back before I even moved to the UK, I used to be in the kitchen with my mom a lot. So when I got to London and you could only work 16 hours a week,
Right.
I was looking for that perfect job, which was anything related to food. So I started going from restaurant to restaurant saying, I'm looking for work, part-time work. I want to work in a restaurant. And they would look at me and ask if I had experience, and I'd say no, but I'm willing to start anywhere. And I had this idea in my head that, what, I used to see all these things on TV with chefs cooking. I thought my first day would be, go on, start cooking this and start cooking that. And I remember that very first day, the first restaurant I worked, and, they pulled me to the back and said, okay, you're going to start here. And they brought bags of potatoes and onions, and they were like, peel the potatoes, cut the onions. And I was like, okay. And I remember at the end of the day, my hands were like this, my eyes were boiling because, and I did that for a few months before I finally found someone that believed and said, this guy is actually willing to work. Let's train him as a chef. And they started to train me. But the difference was really very, very vast between Nigeria and London. London is way developed when it comes to culinary arts and education, but we're picking up the pace now. I think now more than ever, the chef profession has grown.
Amazing.
The industry has grown, the restaurant industry has grown, and everything in general, the mindset of people, their palates have grown as well.
Yeah, still on your journey, right?
Yes.
When you're in, I tell my friend a few days ago, I say, when you're in the picture, or rather when you're in the frame, you don't get to see the picture, right? Did you have somebody who helped you, become the person that you are today, like a mentor who assists you in becoming what you've achieved today?
I would say for me, I did not have any immediate mentor here. But a lot of the chefs I worked with in London, whenever I had a problem, I'd reach out to them and say, this is what I'm going through.
Right.
And they kept on supporting. They would send me details of things. They'll send me recipes. They were just always willing to help. Back then it was hard here because not a lot of people believed in the dream. And when I said I wanted to open a culinary school and I wanted to, be the biggest culinary institution in Africa and grow culinary education, everybody thought I was crazy. But my mom really believed in me, and she kept on pushing me. She bought me my first set of plates.
Your mom?
Yes.
Amazing.
And they were red plates, and that's where the red dish came about.
We're in the month of Ramadan. Let's take a moment to pray for your mother. May Allah bless her, and may Allah make you the coolness of her eyes.
Amen, mashallah.
So you just spoke about the red dish.
Yes.
Now let's come to that. How did that come about?
I know. My mom bought me this red plate and said, what, you've come back now, you want to start this thing. I bought you a present, and she gave me this set of plates, red in color.
Salam.
And we started to cook and plate on it and started posting on Instagram. And it was someone on Twitter even that said, oh, this guy has started again with his red dish, always showing red dish. And the name just stuck,
Amazing.
Red Dish, and it became Red Dish Chronicles.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Let's go back to, you're a Muslim, right?
Yes.
And, over the past few years, you've been doing this and likes of it when it has to do with food.
Yes.
We all know that in Islam, there are a bit of restrictions when it comes to dieting, and this is halal and this is haram and likes of it. Do you feel that some of the instructions in Islam actually limit you or put you in a box? And if it does, how do you find a balance?
Okay. I don't feel restricted in any way. I don't feel put in a box. I'm an out of box thinker, and the beauty of food is there's always substitutes for everything. There's always something else you can use that might even be better than the original.
Oh, really?
And it's about creating and recreating. I mean, a lot of people talk about bacon and all of that, and we have turkey bacon, which is, maybe even better. And things like that. So there's always ways to use ingredients and reuse ingredients, and that's the beauty of food. That's why chefs here and abroad are doing very well, and they're growing because you think out of the box. You think, what else can I do with this ingredient? How else can I use it? What can I create? How can I make it look better than what everybody is doing? So what people see as restrictions, I see as an advantage or an opportunity to use it and redefine it and give it back to the people.
That's really amazing, Chef Stone. We're just going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
All right, there, viewers, stay tuned and we'll be right back. Kalam Box is a Quran speaker for every Muslim home with over 32 reciters, including Sheikh Ahmad Suleiman, Sheikh Abdullahi Abba, and Sheikh Mahmoud Jafar Adam. It also contains amazing features like waking you up for Fajr and making you have a proper and deeper understanding of Islam through tafsir and authentic hadith by Bukhari and Muslim. To get this device, you can visit www.kalambox.com and also on Instagram at Kalambox. Welcome back. We've been discussing with Chef Stone, and I forgot to ask him, why do you even call him Chef Stone? How you doing? Welcome back to the program.
Good to be back.
Before we go a bit deeper into our conversation, why do they call you Chef Stone?
So this is a school that I got in business school in London.
All right.
The name I got in business school, and it's because they call me the man that cannot be moved. When I set my mind to something, you cannot wave me. So yeah, I became Mr. Stone, and then when I became a chef, I just made it Chef Stone.
So when you believe in that thing, you stick on it.
I will keep going. Even now, when I tell my staff we want to do something, they think I'm crazy, and I'm like, we're going to keep going.
Yeah, because I think you're a bit crazy when you were doing all the episodes. I saw you on the rock in the mountain. You were there doing this food, and the most amazing one was when I saw you. You put the pot on, on a stone, and there was this firewood. It took me back to the olden days, man.
Yes.
Amazing. Let's talk about your 30 for 30, right? Is that what you call it?
30 for 30.
Exactly. During the month of Ramadan. And I've seen that you've done so much outreach in trying to feed people. Yes. And as we all know, the best deeds that one can do in the month of Ramadan is to be able to feed people, make people, have that ability to eat very good food, and this is praiseworthy in the deen. Yes. Now, tell me, you don't run a restaurant for now, right? Do you run you don't have a proper restaurant for now?
No, not one.
What you run is a school.
Yes.
Tell me, what motivated you to say, fine, this Ramadan, and I researched last Ramadan you did the same.
Yes.
This Ramadan you're gonna see how you're gonna reach out to people out there.
Yes. Actually, we've done it. This is the 5th year.
Amazing.
That we're doing this, and what really motivated it was the fact that growing up during the month of Ramadan, we pretty much ate unhealthy foods. Especially early in the morning, it was always heavy food.
I'm guilty of that.
Exactly, and it's not very good for you. I mean, yes, at that point I was thinking if I eat a lot and I eat all these heavy foods, I will be okay throughout the day. But it doesn't translate. So for me, it was about getting people to understand that you can eat. There's a variety of things you can cook and eat. It doesn't have to be the same thing every night and every iftar. So I wanted to teach people, we have a lot of ingredients here in Africa. We have a lot of food you can cook, and that's what started it. But the idea was also to draw attention to the fact that, look, we're able to cook and eat all of these beautiful things, but there are a lot of people outside that cannot afford to eat all of these things. While we do this, and I'm showing you how to do this, please donate to a cause that can help to feed people. So the 30 for 30 is about cooking at home and, cooking something beautiful, but also feeding your neighbor and the people on the streets and the people that cannot afford to feed themselves. So which we do every day throughout the month of Ramadan. So as we're cooking, we're also feeding people.
Amazing. And how do you feel about this? Knowing that, you go out there, you meet these people who don't get the opportunity to eat what myself and yourself eat. How do you feel when you're with these people deep in your heart?
I mean, for me, I feel like there's so much more we can do. I never feel fulfilled enough. because no matter how many people we feed, we never can cover enough. Sometimes, we do 200, 500, and, by the time we get to the 500th plate of food that we're serving or that we're dishing out, there are more people coming. And it feels like, can we ever get this poverty to even reduce a little bit? So I always feel a little fulfillment, but then I don't feel so much fulfillment when I see that, the food has to finish, and then, we can no longer feed any more people, and there are so many people hungry. And the fact that there are a lot of places in Nigeria that we cannot even reach. We're talking about Abuja here, where the standard of living is still slightly better than, some very rural areas. So I feel like there's a lot more we can do as people if we work together.
If you're watching this right now, you need to donate in order to make people eat good food. Yes, Allah has given you good food. You can eat well at home. What about those that are also the servant of the most gracious, most merciful? We're going to write the account details. You can donate to either his, feeding program and other programs around the country so that we can also help as many people as we can. All right, Chef Stone, coming back to you personally, what is the worst advice you've gotten in your life?
I have to say the worst advice was I had a friend when I started in this industry, or when I wanted to start the school, that said, "Hey, why are you wasting your time? This would never amount to nothing. Buy a land with the money that you have that you want to use to start this school. That's the way to go." And I told him then that, what, I will buy lands in the future, but what I want to do is for people. A lot of Nigerians now are running out of Nigeria because there are no jobs, there are no opportunities. But that's what we try to create.
Right.
We try to create opportunities. A lot of the students that have gone to Reddish are working in different. There are very few restaurants or hotels that you go to now that there's no a Reddish student in their kitchen.
Amazing.
So we really, really help a lot of people, and we do this scholarship every year. Right after Ramadan, we do a scholarship.
Yeah.
Last year, we took on 24 different people.
Amazing.
Full scholarship. They got culinary education, different courses.
Wow.
And we trained them, and we got them jobs afterwards. So, those things are the things that keep me going, because the business is tough. We know business is tough in Nigeria. But those little things where you walk into a restaurant and your students light up and they're excited that you've come in there, and they come out to you to say thank you very much. And people you don't even remember, they'll come to you and say, "You don't remember me? I was at your school in 2016, blah, blah, blah." So that's what keeps me going.
That's really amazing. That's really amazing. And may Allah bless you for what you do.
Amen.
I went to your culinary school and it was really impressive. I was taken to see the kitchen, right? And the kitchen is so big. And when I came out of the kitchen, Takina told me that, see, this is this is going to be the restaurant, hopefully. And I was like, but I can see right through the kitchen, everything happening in the kitchen. I know in restaurant, people hide the kitchen. So you don't see what is happening in the kitchen. Tell me, what is the wisdom behind that?
The idea is, the kitchen should not be eaten, and you should be able to see what you're eating. You should be able to see how it's made. And if you go to a lot of restaurants, you go in there and you won't eat from there anymore because, it's not very clean. And this, right after COVID, was when I started working on the restaurant project, the kitchen part of it. And I said, I want people to see, what they're paying for. I want them to be able to put their hand on their chest and say, what I'm eating is quality food. Food and safety is being adhered to and stuff like that. So I just wanted that experience where it's not just about coming and us bringing food from the back somewhere. I want you to see how it's being made, and you can walk up to the glass and watch us do the
So it keeps you accountable.
Yes, it does. It does. Yeah.
Amazing. Before we end the program, like a lot of young people who are watching this program now who want to go into, like, for instance, now I love to eat a lot, right? Mashallah, tabarakallah. I love to eat very good food, very good food.
Yes.
But I don't know how to cook, even though I might want to, I want to learn and everything, but I'm like, it's so difficult and everything. What advice do you have for young adults who are watching this right now?
I would say to young adults, it's not difficult at all. I feel like a lot of people, when they think about it, they think, where do I start? How do I start? But it's actually easier than you think. I think a couple of weeks ago, we had some delegates from Ethiopia. Right. And a lot of them in Ethiopia, just like Nigeria, they leave the cooking to the woman. And a lot of these guys, when we told them that, you guys are here, you're going to do a small class where you'll be cooking, the guys were like, cooking? They'd never cooked before in their life, and they came in and they had an amazing experience. One actually was videoing his wife and showing him that, look what I cooked. I'm coming home to cook this for you, and it was a thing of joy. So I would say that it only takes for you to try to cook one thing. And then you fall in love with cooking. You can watch the series I've got on Instagram, the 30 for 30, and you can see just different dishes, all very easy to make, that you can attempt throughout the month of Ramadan.
So if people want to join your school, how can they reach out to you?
They can go on our website, reddishchronicles.com, or they can call us on 0909 22222. That's 5208.
Amazing. Amazing. It's been beautiful having you in the program. I think our next episode we have to cook together.
We do.
And then let's test my capacity.
Yes, I'm sure you do very well. You have hands of a chef.
Amen, brother. MashaAllah.
Yes.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much, Chef Stone, for being on the program. Thank you so much.
Much.
All right, there, everyone. We've come to the end of this episode. You've known what you really need to know. If you're not cooking for your wife, start cooking for your wife. Perhaps before the end of Ramadan, you might just get a bit of reward, mashallah. If you don't know how to do it, you're in Did You Know? Come to Did You Know, and we'll lead you to Chef Stone, and then you will know. Until the next episode, I'll leave you on the care of the most gracious.